testing.
Focus on quality, not cost. That was the message from Union Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari to electric vehicle makers. Speaking at a CNBC-TV18 event last night, Gadkari said the new testing norms for electric vehicles are in the interest of people. He also promised the industry that the new rules will be implemented only after consultation with experts and after taking stock of global standards. Let's listen in to Nitin Gadkari before we go across to the Ola Group President Arun Kumar, who's joining us.
These testing norms, they are actually for the people interest. Because of the cost economics, some of the people are doing the material is not up to the standard. So by concerning the engineering faculty, IITs and other people, our expert committee, international standards, on the basis of that, we have fixed up the norms. I feel that it is in the interest of the industry that they should be quality-centric, not cost-centric.
All right, joining me now to discuss this and more is Arun Kumar, Group President at Ola. Arun, thank you very much for joining us. Let me begin by asking you, will you be able to comply with this new timeline? We had also heard from the industry that certain aspects of these new testing norms are very difficult to implement for EV companies, and that may actually require them to set up a different unit, a separate capacity for testing those vehicles. Do you feel these new timelines are now realistic?
Yeah, thank you, Parikshit, for the question. I think, first of all, the big picture, I think we should really commend the government of India and the...
Arun, I think you're on mute.
Am I audible? Am I audible, please?
Yes, Arun, please go ahead.
Yes, I think what I was saying is, firstly, I think this is such a very important and progressive step taken by the government of India that not only should we be appreciative of all the efforts that have gone in bringing these changes to the 156 standard, but also I think as a responsible citizen, we should work very closely with MORTH, the Honorable Minister Nitin Gadkari and the Government of India to ensure that we speedily implement all the changes that have been brought up. I think from our perspective and the industry perspective, we would imagine that these are fair timelines, because if you see what the government has done, they have broken it into 3 sets of timeline phases in terms of implementation. Some of them are effective immediately. The other is a December timeline, and the third is a March timeline. What this does is this really puts the EV industry in the forefront of the whole effort of the government of India from the big picture of carbon neutrality and our own commitments globally, and ensure that there's speedy adoption while removing the anxiety of safety and quality in the minds of the customers. So we really welcome this step wholeheartedly, and believe that the industry should be able to adhere to the timelines set by the government.
All right, so you're saying that Ola will be able to comply with these new guidelines and the timelines as well. But let me also ask you about the probe that had been undertaken by the high-level committee set up by the Road Transport Ministry. There were at least 9 instances of fires in electric vehicles. There were companies like Ola, Pure EV, Jitendra EV, which were in Okinawa as well, which were the subject of that probe. And there were lapses found in the manufacturing processes, in the safety and testing processes at the level of the manufacturers. Give us a sense of the kind of quality checks, testing standards that you've increased at your own level in order to avoid such incidents in future.
Yes, I think the probes are a very useful part of the government mechanism. We were subject to it, the Tatas were subject to it, many of the other EV companies were subject to it, and really in the EV industry, there's a very, very wide range of players, and the new standards that have been introduced are absolutely essential, which has come as a result of all those studies done by the government. At the higher end of the quality of EV vehicles being produced in this country, and I would add that vehicles produced, for example, by us, are absolutely world standards. On the other end, there are very, very cheap Chinese imports, be it the whole vehicle parts and or for that matter, the BMSs or cells or even battery packs. Luckily for leading players like ours, we are deep in technology and we manufacture everything at very modern plants in the country. So the point is there are a wide spectrum of players in the industry, and it's essential that the government came out with such norms, which now sort of, in a manner of speaking, create a clear definition or a distinction between, the big boys in terms of those who have the technology and who have the responsibility to deliver strongly to the consumers. Leading example of that would be Ola versus
But Arun,
Chinese imports. We are very glad that, the result of all that is
Arun,
the new country.
tell us about the changes that you brought in your own safety mechanisms as a result of that probe and the recommendations from the probe committee.
Right. So if you see, for us as a company, we always said it's a one-off incident, and we've been proven right. And, while I speak on behalf of the industry that, yes, we can implement in those timelines. However, to your specific question, the very fact that we as a company individually have the depth in our technology stack and our future factory to adhere to what you described at the beginning of this program as extremely difficult timelines is testament to the fact that we already have a high technology and a high safety battery pack and a vehicle. And that's the most important takeaway.
Okay.
If you see for this, that we are there. And we are glad that it's been recognized in the latest set of 156, and that kind of always backs what we have been assuring to all of you and the customers that our battery packs and standards and manufacture are one of the highest, if not the best in the world. One simple example I will give you is
Arun,
the need for... Yes.
Arun, we're running out of time. I want to put in 2-3 quick questions to you. Since April, we have been seeing a steep decline in sales of Ola Electric. From some 12,000 or 13,000, it came down to 3,400 or 3,500 in the month of August. Why is this happening? And do you see a strong drop in your booking numbers as well? Have you slashed production as a result?
Yeah, I think a very, very easy question to answer. 1st September to 27th September, if you look up the Vahan portal, you'll find that Ola is #1 in terms of volumes, leave alone value. And again, October, we are quite confident of being the #1. So nothing more to answer. We are the #1.
So this is because of the new Ola scooter, the mass level scooter that has been brought in the market. We're seeing a big demand for that. But at the same time, the company has introduced discounting for the S1 Pro, for the S1 Pro scooter. And I think the Diwali discount is 10,000 rupees. You've also changed you're looking at changing your retail model as well. So do you think somewhere the decline in sales of the S1 Pro has led to a change in thinking within the company?
Absolutely not. First of all, we've been very innovative, the first automobile company in this country, perhaps the world, who does direct-to-customer model, right? And then this model is only being strengthened even further. It's not opening retail stores, but it's about opening experience centers, right? We still don't have dealership, and we don't intend having dealership. It's going to be delivered to your doorstep, and the way to order your vehicle is through the app. So there is no change in strategy. It's sharpening of strategy and enabling experience centers to give you that tall experience. And S1 Pro is selling absolutely in terms of its price band and segment. It is at about 2/3 the market share. S1 Pro is doing its job absolutely fine. It's very important for us to participate in the festival spirit, celebrate the Indian customer, and speed up the adoption into EV. Which is why we've, and the customer needs to experience the best feature and performance in a scooter in this country, perhaps the world. And hence it's a small motivation to try out the S1 Pro. After all, it's a small cost for enabling a lovely customer experience. And you're right, S1 is driving volumes up. There's a lot more variants in the pipeline. You're going to see a lot more action in the next few months.
Right. And the reason why I asked that question about discounting is because right now the EV industry in the two-wheeler segment is not able to meet the market demand. Many EV makers are saying that if they were able to meet the market demand, the conversion rate from electric to ICE would be much greater. At the same time, my last question, I've completely run out of time. How much of the September sales, Arun, are from the Ola S1, the mass market scooter, and how much are they from the S1 Pro, the premium scooter?
Well, that's sort of internal information, but if I just give you the last 3 days of orders, literally we have more orders for S1 Pro going off the roof versus the S1, but we're just struggling with the orders and keeping up with the production. So we are absolutely overflowing with orders.
Right. We've run out of time, but thank you very much, Arun Kumar, for joining us on Newscentre, giving us your view on the new EV testing norms and how Ola will be complying with them as well. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Newscentre. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to CNBC-TV18 for more updates.